Hi, my name is Brian Lang, reporting for the New Daily Prime here in Jos. We have took out time at the Nigerian Union of Journalists Plateau State chapter to highlight to the journalists some of his plans, his visions, and his intentions for the ministry, of which most of these one would want to say are indeed worth it.
Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon. Can I start with a sincere apology for keeping you here waiting? This is not how I would like to start my relationship with you. Because of the important place you occupy in our democracy, in our society. I sincerely apologize. We went for the Luga Games, and they needed to take me around. Before we know it, time was up. So sorry about it. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, fellow citizens and beloved people of Plateau State. It gives me great honor to stand before you today, not just as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but as your son, a proud platoon whose roots and values were nurtured in the very soil of the state. I thank His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for the confidence reposed in me to serve our nation under the renewed hope agenda. Many of you may know me as a health professional, a pharmacist, a clinician, and a humanitarian who has served both in Nigeria and the United Kingdom. My journey began right here in Plateau, in our schools, our communities, our hospitals, where I first learned that leadership is about service, and service is about compassion. Those humble beginnings shaped my conviction that government exists to make life easier, fairer, and more dignified for the average citizen. The vision for the ministry. My vision for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction is clear, and yet straightforward: to make hope a reality for our people, especially the poor, the displaced, the vulnerable, and the marginalized. We will pursue a humanitarian response, not as a charity, but as a right and a responsibility of government. We will build a ministry that listens, responds, and acts with transparency, accountability, and measurable impact. Every intervention must translate into food on the table, roofs over our heads, children in school, and livelihoods restored. My strategic priorities. In the coming months, we will strengthen social protection systems, expand access to poverty alleviation programs, and ensure that humanitarian support reaches people where they are, not just where cameras go. We will work with state governments, local communities, development partners, traditional institutions, and faith-based organizations to build a seamless humanitarian network across Nigeria. Plateau, with its diverse communities and resilient people, will serve as a model state for inclusive humanitarian action, where every displaced person is accounted for, every vulnerable household is supported, and every youth has access to skills and opportunities. Commitment to transparency and partnership. We will run an open ministry, one that welcomes scrutiny, values collaboration, and prioritizes people over politics. Plateau journalists and civil society will play a crucial role, as we believe accountability begins with conversation and progress thrives on partnership. Words to my Plateau people, to my brothers and sisters of Plateau, I say this: this appointment is not mine alone, it is ours. Together, we will demonstrate that Plateau can lead the way in humanitarian leadership, social inclusion, and compassionate governance. Let us turn our pain into purpose and our diversity into strength. I stand before you today, not as one who knows it all, but as one ready to listen, to learn, and to serve. With God's help and your support, we will deliver a ministry that restores dignity, rebuilds communities, and renews hope. Thank you. May God bless Plateau State and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Before I take just two comments, I'll give it back to the chairman who will respond.
Honorable Minister and your team, on behalf of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Plateau State Council, we want to express our deep appreciation for your visit this afternoon and to congratulate you on your appointment as the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. We appreciate that you have chosen to visit us first. As journalists, we are partners in progress, and we assure you that we will give you the maximum support to succeed in this assignment. It will not be an easy task, but we know with your experience and capacity that you're going to do well and do Plateau proud. You know the situation we're in Plateau, particularly, I will say that from Bassa local government where you come from, you know that Plateau State is in a complex emergency. A complex emergency in the sense that we have so many IDPs that are yet to be returned to their ancestral home. And you know what it means when we have so many people that have lost their livelihoods. So we urge you to push on with the federal government and also the Plateau State government. There are several reports on the table of His Excellency, particularly one that interests us as journalists is the resettlement of IDPs. We pray and hope that we'll live to see the day where all the IDPs in Plateau State will be returned home to live their normal lives. Poverty in Nigeria, I checked earlier, and I saw that we are at 61%. That means that 139 million people are living in poverty in Nigeria. As you go on with your assignment, we urge you to please look at other avenues of how to get people out of poverty. The distribution of palliatives is good, but we hope to see more interventions. We want to see more of skills acquisition, especially for the youth. You know that technology is driving the world today. Let us see that a lot of our youth are out of the streets and that they will stop drug abuse and also support government to develop and uplift Plateau State and Nigeria in general. On this note, we want to congratulate you once more on your new office, and our doors are very open. Whatever time that you want journalists in Plateau State, we're not just Plateau journalists, we're Nigerian journalists. Yeah. You can see from the microphones in your presence that we represent all the media organizations in Nigeria. We urge you to call on us at any point that you need us to perform one task or the other. And let me restate again that you have our maximum support. On this note, I want to plead with you that we'll take few questions. You cannot come here and journalists will not ask you questions.
That's right.
They're eager and ready so that you'll be able to respond to you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to take just, okay, you can see Obeyemi. Okay,
welcome to Plateau State. The chairman just, my name is Yemi Kosoko. The chairman mentioned just as a form of remark. As a form of remarks on the issue of resettlement. I'm looking through the vision for the ministry. let me just put you briefly. So my mission, that is provision for the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, is clear and just straightforward to make hope a reality for our people, especially poor, the displaced, the vulnerable, and the marginalized. In respect of this, in concrete terms, what will the ministry be doing to see the resettlement of these displaced persons, not only on the plateau, across other places, as well as making this to be a reality and not rhetorics which we have it for a while. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yeah, well, you are really welcome. I don't want to speak on behalf of my chair has spoken for me. But I have this question. Like she has rightly pointed out, the issues of the IDPs across the belt of this country. Has the federal government, which will belong now, promised you of the security that people are actually looking for? Because hunger, which you want to cure, it comes from the farms. Have you thought of any strategy that you can tell us now? That these are the strategies on ground that you will adopt in order to make sure people go back to the schools.
Thank you very much, Yemi, for your question. My vision, as stated, is very simple. We want to renew the hope of those who have been displaced. We do this by ensuring that there is efficiency within the ministry. We do this to ensure that our outreach, our interventions actually gets to the intended recipients, the intended demographic. That's very key. And we do this working with the individuals concerned. It's going to be a person-centered approach to managing these issues, the IDP issue in particular. There are relevant agencies and departments within the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry. We want to ensure that those agencies are fit for purpose. We want to ensure that we remove any sort of duplications amongst those agencies. We want to ensure that the agencies are working together in synergy to be able to deliver what is important for those individuals that are affected. In particular, the Commission for Refugee Commission will be strengthened to ensure that we're able to directly impact the IDPs. At the moment, as soon as I go back to work, my first brief will be to make sure that the executive directors and the DGs that run these agencies, we collaborate with them. That the ministry will be able to ensure a supervisory role to make sure that the IDPs are helped. Regarding Valentine's question on security concerns, you can see that recently there's been a regime within the security architecture of the country. And this is to bring more vigor, to bring fresh ideas to resolving the issues of security in this country. We know that most of the problems we have is as a result of man-made, disasters. Because wars and conflicts and what have you leads to these issues of displaced persons. And I think at the core of it, as you've said, hunger and lack of meaningful livelihood impacts on that. And that is why we want to ensure that social investment program, the national social investment program, is rejigged. We want to make sure that this is well funded so that we can then be able to deliver interventions that reduces poverty. You're right by saying, I think it was the chairman that mentioned this, that over 60% of Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. And we want to approach this head on so that by the end of our tenure, that we can use verifiable data to say this is what we have done to be able to reduce the poverty level. We'll do this through skill acquisition, through providing soft capital loans for those at the bottom of the economic ladder. That would be our desire. We want to make sure that we encourage a welfare system that helps individual and helps lift individual from poverty. That is our desire. Thank you very much.